So, Metaphor ReFantazio got some brand new gameplay, and in my previous video, which you should definitely check out by the way, I reacted to the ATLUS exclusive showcase from the minds behind Persona. While it retains some of the core elements of the Persona franchise, such as the turn-based combat and social simulation mechanics, it takes these concepts into a medieval fantasy setting, offering a fresh take on the genre. In the recent 25-minute presentation hosted by director Katsura Hashino, he provided valuable insights into the game, including its release date. I'm really excited about this game. I'm pretty sure I've said that multiple times now in multiple different videos. But in today's video, I'll be going over all the news that was presented at the showcase and everything you can look forward to in Metaphor ReFantazio. But before this video begins, as always, please don't forget to leave a like, share and comment, as it definitely helps the video with the algorithm to make sure the video reaches as many people as possible, and subscribe for more Metaphor ReFantazio. The presentation kicked off with an exciting new trailer for Metaphor, titled The King's Trial, which culminated in the announcement of the game's release date. Fans can mark their calendars for October 11, when the game will launch on PC, PlayStation 4, PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. ATLUS are absolutely cooking with this year, with Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance in over a month's time, then Persona 3 Reload DLC in September, episode Argus, and finally Metaphor. With several months until release, there hopefully should be ample time to wrap up SMT 5 Vengeance and Persona 3 Reload, episode Argus, to prepare for this new adventure. ATLUS's OSTs are some of the best in the business, and Shoji Meguro is one of the best composers in the business as well. It's fantastic news that Shoji Meguro, renowned for his incredible compositions in the Persona series, is returning to craft the score for Metaphor. Interestingly, the music in the game serves a unique role, as it is portrayed as a character within the world itself. A fairy named Gallica casts a spell on the protagonist, enabling him to hear music in his head. Now, whether this aspect of the music will play a significant role in the plot or serve as a fun detail remains to be seen, but it sounds like you could change up the music from time to time if you wanted to. Director Katsura Hashino's approach to the game's music is intriguing. He encouraged Meguro-san not to feel constrained by the poppier sound of Persona, allowing for more orchestral style in Metaphor. This shift in musical direction promises to bring a fresh and immersive auditory experience to the game, enhancing the overall atmosphere and storytelling. And oh my god guys, if you have not heard the battle theme that was released as well just after the presentation, you should definitely go and listen to it. The legendariness, it's not a word but I just made it up, doesn't just stop at Meguro-san. It's exciting to hear that ATLUS has enlisted the talents of guest artists to contribute to the Metaphor's world building. Koda Kazuma, known for their work on Nier Automata, has played a role in the design of the in-game city concepts, while Ikuro Yamashita, renowned for their contributions to Evangelion, has crafted the design of the protagonist's ship. While the majority of the game's art direction is handled by in-house artists, these collaborations add depth and diversity to the game's visual landscape, enriching the player's experience as they explore the intricacies of the world. Their art can definitely be seen throughout the world, and it makes for an absolute stunning setting, and these gauntlet runners, the protagonist's ship, look amazing and very Evangelion-esque. Metaphor places a greater emphasis on exploration compared to Persona. The game features open areas and cities that players will traverse through their journey. To enhance mobility and navigate the expansive world more efficiently, players can utilize their magic sword as a skateboard. And for the longest time, I did not realize it was actually a sword. I legitimately thought it was a skateboard, so there's that. While the team doesn't categorize Metaphor as an open world game per se, the inclusion of tools for swift traversal reflects the game's larger world and the importance of facilitating player exploration. This approach ensures that players can seamlessly traverse the diverse landscapes and immerse themselves fully in the adventure without being hindered by tedious travel mechanics, which is definitely a welcome change as well, by the way. I'm really excited about how they open up the world and explore it. The concept of an election in Metaphor's world, where anyone can vie for the throne by garnering public support, introduces Persona-esque social elements into the gameplay. Building relationships and getting to know people become essential strategies for swaying public opinion in the protagonist's favor. This involves making connections across various social strata, from the affluent to the less privileged areas of society. Notably, the protagonist hails from what director Hashino describes as an inferior tribe, adding a layer of complexity to the game's social dynamics. To gain favor across the spectrum of class, players must engage in quests and interact with individuals from all walks of life. This approach not only enriches the narrative, but also underscores the importance of empathy and understanding in shaping the protagonist's journey and influencing the outcome of the election. The departure from Persona's single town setting is a notable feature of Metaphor, as players will embark on a journey across the world during the election period. Throughout this campaign, players will travel to various cities, each serving as a temporary base of operations. The recent showcase unveiled Matira, or known as Pastoral Town, that provides a contrast to the bustling capital city, where players will initially operate. Director Hashino emphasizes that the inclusion of diverse hub worlds aim to immerse players in a grander journey, allowing them to explore different parts of the world with unique characteristics and atmospheres. This approach not only expands the scope of the game, but also enriches the player experience by offering varied environments to explore and interact with. You will spend a lot of time in Metaphor's different cities and towns, but your ship, called the Gauntlet Runner, is the center of your world. Inside, you'll find a war room in which all your teammates can gather as you travel from place to place. Here, you can plan your journey, as every time you travel, in-game time will pass similar to Persona's calendar mechanic. Getting to and from different places will take more time than others, so Metaphor will become just as much about time management as gaining people's favors. While you travel, you'll be able to hang out in the Gauntlet Runner and see the outside world as you fly to your destination. This is your time to hang out with your friends, handle equipment loadouts, read, or just sleep through the trip. But if you head out onto the ship's deck, you can watch the whole journey from one place in another in real time. And this is actually super sick. I mean, just even the brief moment of traversal between towns that they showed in the showcase will be awesome. And to hang out with your party as well, cook and then have a bath. It's really reminiscent of a road trip, and I think that's an awesome touch for the game. The calendar system is back, and because of how time passes in this game, you have a limited time to finish Metaphor's main quests. This was standard for Persona and seems to have been implemented into Metaphor as well. And it will also include some side quests, though they will be marked as having a deadline in your journey. Notably, even though you have time limit, some of these quests will scale in difficulty if you do them later. So planning when you do them may be the difference between something being easy or near impossible. This also adds to the replayability of Metaphor. I'm sure there will be some side quests or characters that you won't have time for in your first playthrough, so you can always go back and play it again, but do something different this time. And it also should be noted that after the showcase, during the Japanese live stream, just promoting the game, it was noted that the period over the election is actually 6 months instead of a year. So having 6 months out of the year seems pretty short, but I do assume that you would be able to do more things throughout the day instead of being morning, evening, afternoon, night. But that's not confirmed information as well, that's just wait to be seen. Fans of Persona will be pleased to know that Metaphor continues the tradition of stunning UI design that the series is known for. During the presentation, a brief segment showcased the pause menu, which is adorned with beautiful artwork, stylish transitions, and a vibrant color palette. This attention to detail in the UI design enhances the overall aesthetic appeal of the game and contributes to its immersive experience. Players can expect to interact with menus that not only serve functional purposes, but also delight the senses of their visual elegance and flair. The sound design in the menus as well is so crisp, and just look at how responsive they are. Like honestly, not even any recency bias, but it looks like one of the best UIs that I've ever seen in any game. And I thought they definitely set it up from Persona 3 Reload, from Persona 5 Royal. I mean, like come on. So now we are getting into gameplay systems and mechanics, and they presented some really cool things, and a lot of things as well. Firstly, archetypes. So as Hashino puts it, you confront your anxieties to unlock heroic figures everyone possesses, suggesting that they represent iconic personas or roles within the game's world. So basically, like personas, and they look just as sick. You can definitely see the influence Ikuto Yamashita has put into these massive beings. In Metaphor, archetypes act like jobs in any other RPG system, and they play a crucial role in determining a character's traits and abilities. You can see brawlers, thieves, seekers, mages, I mean the list goes on. You can even be the god of League of Legends. Faker? I'm pretty sure that says Faker, right, in the screen. Anyway, okay, not actually Faker, but you get the idea. Unlike Persona, where certain personas are tied to specific characters, archetypes in Metaphor offer greater flexibility. Players have the freedom to customize their party's loadout by assigning archetypes to different characters as they see fit. As players meet and bond with followers throughout the journey, they will unlock additional archetypes, allowing for further customization and strategic depth in party composition. You can even have a full team of brawlers, as they have shown, so the strategic depth could be possibly very massive. Hashino didn't go too much into detail, as he says to see further announcements on the archetype system, but he did mention there were going to be a lot of them. And you can see that here in the archetypes tree. I mean, I'm pretty sure every single hexagonal slot is an archetype, so there's like 50 plus, easily. Combat. Now, just like all the previous announcements and showcases we have seen, Combat is a mix between what they call fast and squad. Fast action is seemingly like your traditional action RPG, where you can battle and slay enemies in the overworld who are significantly weaker than you. However, when you get to a strong enemy, and I presume mini bosses and bosses as well, you can preemptively strike them, and when successful, you can call your squad for an advantage in battle. Hashino mentioned that he didn't want weaker enemies when you progress further into the game to slow you down or slow down the action of the combat, and that you can pick and choose who you engage with on the battlefield in real time. I think the system looks great, and when other games such as those from the Falcom series of games do it and do it successfully, I don't mind them implementing it for something fresh. The turn-based combat is just as you expect, with your elemental affinities being very similar to Persona 3 Reload with the 3 physical damage types and an array of elemental ones. Your typical SMT Persona style buffs and debuffs are also present. Yay for Tarokaja, as you can see. So yeah, it's just going to be very similar to SMT in that sort of regard. Dungeons are a major focus in any of the ATLUS games, and you'll be thrilled to know, at least I definitely was, that the dungeons are all handcrafted experiences, and Metaphor will have the most dungeons in any other previous ATLUS game. Like seriously, what the hell, more dungeons? I mean, this game is going to be massive, and I seriously cannot wait for this aspect and for them to show off more. Now, some new information from the Japanese stream after the presentation that I mentioned before briefly, so you're going to get a little exclusive here, was that there is confirmed to be 7 party members in total. Now, whether or not that includes Gallica, well, we're not too sure, or the protagonists actually, come to think of it. They didn't elaborate too much about it, but at the very least, there are 2 party members, possibly 3, that we have not seen yet, which is really cool. So hopefully they tease them soon, but I also hope that they don't really reveal too much and then experience that with, for ourselves within the game. The collector's edition of Metaphor comes with a plethora of enticing goodies for fans to enjoy. Priced at $149.99 USD, this special edition includes a steelbook, physical soundtrack, art book, pins shaped like teeth, a sticker sheet, and a cloth map. Additionally, purchasers will receive DLC vouchers for costumes inspired by Persona and Etrian Odyssey, as well as a digital history book commemorating ATLUS's 35th anniversary. And as an added bonus, pre-orders also include in-game supplies. This comprehensive collector's edition offers fans a treasure trove of physical and digital content to enhance their gaming experience and celebrate the legacy of ATLUS. So now, yeah, interested buyers can definitely pre-order now, though availability is very spotty across different regions and platforms. So a tip from myself, because the English editions only include the digital products, and to be honest, I can't even pre-order the collector's edition in Australia as of yet. I don't really want to miss out as well. You can actually go to websites like Play Asia or Army in order to order the Japanese special editions, and you'll actually get physical copies for the soundtrack and the 35th anniversary art book, whereas the English versions have digital copies. Obviously, the language of the game that you actually buy will be in Japanese, but I definitely prefer physical stuff rather than any digital stuff. You still get all the DLC bonuses, such as the treasure trove and additional items for the beginning of the game with the Japanese version, but you just get the physical editions of the art book and the soundtrack, which I think is just much better. It's a much better deal, and it's about the same price as well, so yeah, I think I'll probably just go for that one. So that pretty much wraps up the ATLUS exclusive showcase for Metaphor ReFantazio. They delivered quite a bit of additional information, which was really cool to see more of the game. And from my perspective, I definitely think this game will be a Game of the Year contender, and I'm definitely super excited for it, as I mentioned again. And if you're a Persona or SMT fan, I think you should definitely check this game out as well. I truly believe this is the culmination of 35 years of ATLUS, and ATLUS being potentially at their very, very best. I just want to see more of the game. I just want to have the game in my hands right now. So ATLUS, if you're listening, or if you're somehow watching the video, send your boy a early copy, please. Definitely subscribe to the channel, as I will be covering this game, and leave a comment about what you're excited for the most. Is it the fast/squad action-based combat? Is it the archetypes themselves and how awesome they look? Is it the world building? Or even if it's as simple as just hanging around with your friends on the Gauntlet Runner, watching the sunset together. So thanks for watching everyone, and get ready to take the throne.